Okay, welcome back. So in this video we're talking about some tips and some tricks, some things to think about as you're interviewing.
Okay, so let's start with it even before you get into the interview.
Okay.
Just a tip of getting yourself professionally ready.
Alright.
First of all, if you're working at another job, do not wear your interview outfit to that job if you usually don't dress that professionally.
Yeah.
Keep it in your car.
Interviewing at FedEx, don't wear your UPS shirt too.
Yeah. But think about, it's important to think about how you're going to get dressed, how you navigate that. I know
plan ahead, prepare.
That from my interview here, I found like a local Starbucks. I know they have big bathrooms you can change in. And in Arizona, it's really hot. It's in the summers, it was like 118 degrees that day, I think.
Yeah.
And I was wearing a black suit to interview. Well, I don't want to wear that all day.
Oh my
So
gosh,
I found the closest one I could change quickly before I came here.
Nice.
And then also because you will spill coffee on yourself, your baby will spit up on you, something
gosh,
will happen.
Yes.
So
avoid white.
Yeah, just think about that outfit, that it's pressed, that it's ready to go. You don't want to be ironing right before you walk out the door. Just give yourself plenty of time.
You know, something else kind of on that idea of walking out the door. I know I did this before I came here for my interview. I'd never been to the building before.
Oh,
so
yes.
I mapped it out.
You have to do a drive-by.
Yes, drove by, saw where will I park, what door do I go in, anything to make myself just a little more comfortable that day when I arrive for the interview.
And don't just do a Google, do a physical drive.
Yeah.
I had a place it was the first day I was teaching, and the Google map took me to the top of the mountain, and the university was not at the top of the mountain.
Well, just here at Bryan, it's great. It gets you to the corner, and I think it gave me some message like the closest we can get you is, so
yeah.
It was definitely you needed to go out in the car and find out where am I going, and I wasn't from Arizona. I came out for the interview, so for me it was, I don't want to get lost. How bad would that be? And on that note, make sure that you have a contact number for somebody, so if something does happen, you can call them. There's nothing worse than a whole group of people sitting around waiting on you, and you haven't phoned or let them know or anything. So
and bring it with you.
Yeah, I left it in the hotel. No.
I used to interview people at my last job, and occasionally life would happen. Traffic really backed up. Car accident with one candidate. As long as they called me before the interview started and explained the situation, like interviewers are human too. They'll reschedule you.
Right.
It's fine, and they're usually pretty busy and don't even mind. Having
but no call, no, you don't show. They just assume you.
Or if you show up late and say traffic was bad, forget it. You've lost the interview.
You've lost it. Yes.
Call before.
Think about alternate routes and the best way to get there. And and even if you like we talked in one of the earlier videos, not to show up more than say 10 minutes early. If you're worried about traffic, if you have to make a commute into a major city and it's rush hour. It's nothing wrong with planning to arrive 30 minutes early. Scope out a place nearby to get a cup of coffee or to take a walk or something. Just
I think that's a great idea. Get yourself mentally prepared.
Yeah. Just nothing like feeling frazzled from the drive there.
Oh.
And then
And I think we've all had that when you're late for something that you cannot be late for feeling, and it comes off of you when you walk into the room.
Oh, absolutely. You're frazzled, and they feel it. And then
the energy. You don't want that energy. Leave that at the door.
Your mind is not working at its best at that point because you're kind of in panic mode, fight and flight. So make sure that you give yourself that opportunity to be calm when you walk in. I think walking through the interview and visualizing. For us, we had to do a test teach, so of course preparing. I don't know how many people I showed my test teach to before, and they were thrilled. But I was prepared.
Have your friend that's really good at grammar, check it. Have your friend that's really good at visuals, check it. Listen to their advice.
Right. And just be prepared.
Yeah.
Know how it's going to go, because even though you might feel like you're nervous or you're not prepared, the more times you've run through it, the smoother it's going to go.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think the best thing that you can do to prepare for an interview is practice.
Yeah, practice, 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 and prepare. Going back to your comment about dressing, and I think one of the things you want to do is make sure that you're comfortable in what you wear.
Yeah. Know how you feel to fit, things like that.
Don't buy the shoes the day before, and then find out that you can't walk in them. That would be bad.
And if you haven't worn that interview suit in a while, you might want to try it on.
Make sure it fits.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's clean, and and just you want, and all of that can be done ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
so that you're prepared, and not something that you have to worry about that morning.
Yeah.
Because that's not the time.
That's not the time.
Not at all.
So you get, and then when you're doing the mock interview, if you're doing a face-to-face mock interview, wear that outfit so you can feel how you move in it. It's not this foreign skin to you. It's something you're comfortable with.
Right.
Even if you're just wearing the jacket.
Yep.
Get used to how you feel in it.
Yeah. Notice if it makes noise.
Yeah.
I think back to the days when we wore corduroy pants. That would be awful if you were walking somewhere. Or your shoes squeak.
Squeaky shoes.
That would, I used to work at a library. That would be the end of the interview. I'm sorry, your shoes were too loud.
We can't bring you on. Your clothing makes too much noise. And being aware of your surroundings. Now, the mock interview that you're going to do for this class, where you're having it recorded and you get a chance to re-record, that's a tool that you can have forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, practice. Print out that list of interview questions. Practice answering them.
When you arrive, greet people and listen carefully for their names. Listen how they pronounce them and what their name is. Nothing worse than talking to somebody and then you find out that you've been calling them by the wrong name the whole time. That would be bad.
Yeah.
Find out who the people are, introduce, shake hands, make good eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that first impression is the only chance you get to make it. So you want it to be good.
Yeah, and then same thing is if you hit a question and you're not sure, how to answer, that impression is key. So breathe. It's fine. It is okay. People don't expect you to respond right away. When I used to interview people, I was perfectly happy waiting for someone to take a moment to collect their thoughts. Sometimes it helped me when I was interviewing to repeat the question.
Yes, that's always a good.
So if I say to you, can you tell me what your greatest strengths are?
My greatest strengths. I think it would be patience and listening, or not.
Yeah. So you give yourself that couple seconds, and then you can try to think of an experience that you've had to help support your answer. Because the more contextualizing you can do with your answer, the stronger it will seem.
Yep. And I flippantly answered you, but if I had taken a moment to think, then it would be that I think one of my greatest strengths, at least as an instructor, is that I am an advocate for my students. I think that my students all have it in themselves to succeed, and then it's my job to lead them to that success.
And can you give me an example of an advocate leading success?
Well,
I can give you like 17 that you've done. I know this month.
It's just working one-on-one with a student sometimes is if that's what they need, and I think being happy to do that. The students are our purpose, and so I think that's.
Yeah, and anytime you can personalize it with a story of like a one-on-one interaction, that's going to even make it richer.
Right.
And you guys have those experiences.
Yep. And don't be, just make sure that they're positive.
Yes, always be positive. Don't talk about how much you hate your boss.
No. And okay, so that brings
and you
us
might
to
hate
a
your
great
boss,
question.
but don't share that.
How do we answer questions where it's very easy to go to the negative? Why are you leaving your current job?
Yeah, that's a great question, and this is one that it's funny. One of the last interviews I was on, they were like, "Why are you leaving? You seem like you really like that place." I think I overdid it with the positivity, but
you seem so happy there.
I think when you talk about why you're leaving your current position or why you're unhappy at your current position, structure your reply in a way where you talk about the strengths that you've gotten in that organization, and now you're ready for new challenges.
Right.
Like, for me, from my position before to my promotion at Bryan University, it was kind of an easy answer because I had been a traditional on-ground teacher and I was looking for the opportunity to teach online. That's pretty. That's pretty. I didn't talk about I didn't say anything negative about the university I was
Right.
at. I didn't talk about my boss or anything like that. All the other reasons that I might have been leaving, I talked about the opportunity the new place had to offer.
Yeah.
So take that question and turn it into
a positive.
and say, instead of why are you leaving, it's what opportunity are you seeking at this new establishment.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. All right, are we ready to go on to the final video?
The most
The
important
most
video?
important.
No. All right.
All right.